These were people who went to bed with a job, unknown to them that they would wake up the next morning almost jobless. And let it also be on record that these guys, they have families who depend on them for their livelihood. So when you say something about possible security threats, I don't know what greater threat can be compared to you sending over 300 persons back on the streets. There is no greater threat than that. One of the greatest tools for distraction for young people today is entertainment. Unfortunately, when people are bored, they go into all manner of vice. They do things, they commit crime. So when a setting like this brings young people together to forget the sorrows and the failures of this government, they are pained, completely pained, that young Nigerians still find a way to have fun despite their failings. And that is why they've taken it upon themselves to ensure that the young Nigerians, their customers and the staff are punished for just being happy.
The owners of Pappies Metro at Lungi Crescent in Wuse II, Abuja, has accused Abuja Metropolitan Management Council of rendering 300 workers jobless after illegally demolishing the restaurant on Tuesday. Recalling a popular Abuja restaurant in Wuse II was demolished by the joint team of the Federal Capital Territory Administration on Tuesday, the 15th of November 2022. Rootstv Nigeria visited the scene to examine the level of damage done to the property. While counting their losses, someone with an interest, who chose not to reveal his identity, explained how the FCT administration had disobeyed the court order, thereby rendering hundreds of employees jobless and homeless. In his narration, he claims the demolition was engineered by some people who are politically motivated.
Pappies Metro and Okonkwo got served on the basis of noise and traffic, and according to them, that the restaurant was not supposed to be serving alcohol. We were able to curtail the noise, and then a couple of persons were placed outside to manage the traffic. But then, of course, we live in Nigeria where anything goes. And a couple of days ago, these same guys came. Apparently, there are some power brokers on this street. I'm not going to mention names. And these guys came and then they locked up the gates. What was the issue? Nothing. They locked up the gates without saying anything to anybody. And then they left. So clients who came were parked outside and they came inside to eat. And it would shock you to know that the people who worked the day before woke up the next morning thinking that they will still have a job, met the greatest shock of their lives, as these guys forced their way into the premises against a court order that was gotten preventing them from demolishing the structure. So on what ground will you disobey and have complete and total disregard for the court order? That is all. Those are the questions. Those are the questions we're asking. So why don't you respect the court? What example are you setting for the young people? That if my father gives an instruction, I should disobey the instruction? Or if the head of my village gives an instruction, I should disobey the instruction? What better example can a government set other than for them to follow or live by example? So by doing this, what they're indirectly communicating to the young people is that I can drive and break traffic lights and nothing will happen. Is that I can walk into a shop, break into a shop, steal, and nothing would happen. Is that I can go back home, meet my wife, beat her up, and nothing will happen. Is that you as a woman can go back home and pour water on your husband and nothing will happen. That is the example they are setting. There is no better way. Over 600 million naira invested here. It is none of your business how this money was gotten. The vendors who brought in goods, over 60-something million naira. Perishable items. So you have not just destroyed the infrastructure. You have not just rendered over 300 persons jobless. You have also, by your own actions, make a business be indebted to vendors. And guess what? These vendors don't care. They will come knocking for their money. What is my business with your own failure?
On his part, while stating reasons for the demolitions in Abuja as a whole, the coordinator of AMMC, Wuse II, told our correspondent in an exclusive interview that the plot of land allocated to them for a park was violated by the owners.
So what we first did is, whenever we observe there are deviations in development regulations, we first serve notices. If we are developing, we say stop work. If we have developed, we say quit or revert the plot back to the approvable development.
And for Pappies Metro, he said,
from park to a hotel, because it's akin to a hotel. Apart from that, it is not only the hotel use or the nightclub use, akin to a nightclub. It's not that thing that even is prompting complaint around that area. The neighbors have been complaining. If you go there in the night, the people that are patronizing that place park their cars in front of people's houses. The whole street becomes inaccessible. The neighbors always complain. Some of them even say it takes them 10 minutes, 30 minutes for them to access, to go across that place to enter their houses.
Shuaibu also stated how the owners of the park had turned deaf ears to the several notices served to them after violating guidelines provided by the FCTA administration for the development of parks.
What these people call hotel are places that were reserved for some of the staff here who work late into the 8 p.m. and can't go to places like Nasarawa, Maraba, where they come from. They just sleep over, and then the next morning they go back home. Some persons come from Guagalada and then they return. The evidence are there. The rooms are there. So when you talk about a hotel, you see a proper bed with AC. Person who won't carry woman, no go carry woman enter place where no they comfortable. You know go carry woman enter where bunk bed day. So it is a lies that they tell. The lies that they tell just to bring down the business of successful young men.
He added that suspected hoodlums who threatened the officials during the demolition were dispersed by security personnel after an attempted attack.
We are recovering that plot, and that's why we went here for the demolition. And the people you see coming out from that place, our city is at a great trade, because the individuals that I see coming out from that place, it has confirmed to us that the criminals are hiding in that area. Can you imagine somebody telling us to our face that you will go and start robbing our houses one after the other? One on one. Meaning the armor was there. We saw it yesterday. And that is why the existence of a place like that in this city is a threat to the city. And we have vowed never ever to allow such type of place to exist in Abuja.
In a counter-reaction, it was learned that the warnings by the FCTA were adhered to by the owners. It was also gathered that some of the workers were harassed and brutalized by the security personnel.
They assaulted some of the staff. We have videos to that effect. One of the young man's eyes almost went blind because they used the baton against him. They broke bottles, and some of the staff, in the process of escaping, got themselves caught. They threw tear gas. My first experience with tear gas was during one of the campaigns, and I said to myself that I will never be involved in any big rallies again. So when you did that thing, you basically exposed people, especially the asthmatic patient, to possible death. But they don't care, and that's the honest truth. So you forcefully pushed people out of the place, beat them up. As a matter of fact, a senatorial candidate, Paul Obasi of ADC, was beaten and stripped naked. Videos are there. And arrested for simply defending is right and the people.